Here's a $500,000 question. Which retirement account should you pull from first? Because getting this wrong could literally cost you $500,000 over your retirement. I'm going to show you two identical couples with the same amount saved, $1.4 million, but one ends up with $2.1 million and the other with just $1.6 million. The only difference? The order they withdrew their money. When your paycheck stops, you become your own paycheck. And today, I'm breaking down the exact withdrawal order that keeps more money in your pocket and less in Uncle Sam's. The retirement income shift. Let's start with the basics. When you retire, those automatic deposits stop. No more paychecks hitting your account every 2 weeks. Now, you're in charge of creating your own income. And you've got essentially 4 different buckets to pull from. Think of it like this. You've got fixed income from Social Security or pensions, your tax-deferred accounts like 401ks, your tax-free Roth accounts, and your regular taxable brokerage accounts. Each one plays by completely different tax rules. The first step is figuring out your fixed income floor. Let's say you need $6,000 a month to live comfortably in retirement. The average Social Security benefit today is about $1,900 a month. So right away, Social Security is covering roughly 30% of your basic needs. That leaves about $4,100 per month that has to come from your other accounts. That's your gap. That's what you need to pull from your other accounts. And here's where the strategy matters, because you could be paying 0% in taxes or 22% in taxes on that same $4,100, depending on which account you choose. Understanding your account types. Let me break down these 3 tax buckets in the simplest way possible. First, your taxable brokerage account. This is just a regular investment account, no special treatment when money goes in. But here's the beauty. You only pay taxes on your gains when you sell, and those gains are taxed at long-term capital gains rates, which are way lower than ordinary income. In 2026, married couples can pull up to $98,900 in gains and pay zero, absolutely zero in federal capital gains tax. Plus, when you die, your heirs get what's called a stepped-up basis, meaning they inherit it completely tax-free. Second bucket, tax-deferred accounts like your 401k or traditional IRA. You paid taxes when the money went in, it grew tax-free for decades, but now the IRS wants their cut. Every single dollar you pull out gets taxed as ordinary income, just like a paycheck. And starting at age 73, the IRS forces you to take required minimum distributions, whether you need the money or not. Your heirs will pay taxes on it too. Third bucket, your Roth IRA or Roth 401k. You paid taxes before the money went in, but now, zero taxes on withdrawals. Not on your contributions, not on the growth, nothing. A $100,000 withdrawal from your Roth means $100,000 in your pocket. And here's a 2024 update. Roth 401ks no longer have required minimum distributions, just like Roth IRAs. It passes to your heirs tax-free, too. Now, here's the strategy that actually works, and it might surprise you. You want to hit your taxable brokerage account first, especially in those early retirement years, before Social Security kicks in. Why? Because this is when you can harvest those beautiful 0% capital gains rates. Let's say you retire at 62 and delay Social Security until 70. That's 8 years where you could pull $100,000 annually from your brokerage and pay zero in federal taxes if you have no other income. We're talking about saving over $150,000 in taxes just by timing this right. Here's the thing most people miss. This isn't just about avoiding taxes today. You're also resetting your cost basis. Every share you sell and rebuy locks in a higher purchase price, which means lower taxes in the future. It's like giving yourself a tax discount that compounds over time. Phase 2 kicks in once Social Security starts, or your taxable accounts run low. Now you move to your tax-deferred 401k or traditional IRA. The strategy here is to fill up the lower tax brackets, the 12% and 22% brackets, but don't go higher unless you have to. These withdrawals will increase the taxes on your Social Security benefits too, which is something to watch. But you've delayed this phase as long as possible, letting that money grow tax-deferred in the meantime. And your Roth? That's phase 3. Touch it last, or honestly, maybe never. Here's why. That tax-free money is like a golden goose. Why would you kill the goose when it keeps laying golden eggs? If you let $10,000 grow to $100,000 over 20 years in a Roth, that's $90,000 in completely tax-free gains. Let it compound as long as possible. This is also the perfect asset to leave to your kids, 100% tax-free inheritance. The only time you might break this rule is if pulling from your 401k would push you into a much higher tax bracket or trigger other penalties. Then yeah, use the Roth instead. But here's where people get burned, and these traps can cost you big time. First up, the IRMA cliff. IRMA is basically a Medicare surcharge for higher earners. In 2026, if you're married and your income crosses $218,000, you pay an extra $81 to $487 per person per month on Medicare Part B. And here's the cruel part. Going just $1 over that threshold triggers the full penalty. So if you're close, that's when you pull from your Roth instead of your 401k to keep your income below the line. Watch your withdrawals 2 years before you hit Medicare age because they use a 2-year look-back. Second trap, Social Security taxation. Up to 85% of your Social Security can become taxable income based on something called combined income. For married couples, that threshold is just $32,000, and withdrawals from your tax-deferred accounts count towards this. So every dollar you pull from your 401k not only gets taxed itself, but can also make more of your Social Security taxable. It's a double whammy. Solution? Pull from your Roth when you're dancing near that threshold. The third trap is the RMD time bomb. At age 73, the IRS forces you to take required minimum distributions from your traditional IRAs and 401ks. You must take the money even if you don't need it, and it can shove you into higher tax brackets and trigger IRMA penalties. This is exactly why Roth conversions are so powerful, something I'll cover in next week's video, because you can defuse this bomb before it explodes. And here's one mistake I see constantly, the pro rata method. People think they're being smart by pulling equally from all their accounts, but you're paying taxes now on money that could be growing tax-free, and you're missing out on those 0% capital gains years. Over 30 years, this approach can cost you $500,000 compared to the optimal strategy we just covered. Action steps and recap. Let me give you 3 simple action steps. First, map your income sources this week. Write down all your fixed income, Social Security, pension, and rental income, and figure out your annual expenses. Calculate that gap you need to fill. Second, inventory your accounts this month. What's in your taxable brokerage? What's in your 401k? What's in your Roth? Know your starting point. And third, create your withdrawal timeline before you retire. A year-by-year plan for which accounts to tap, when Social Security starts, and when those RMDs kick in at 73. Here's the simple rule to remember. Taxable first, tax-deferred middle, tax-free last, unless you're about to cross a tax cliff. Getting this right versus wrong is literally a $300,000 to $500,000 difference over your retirement. This might feel overwhelming, but it's really just asking one question. How can I legally pay the least amount of tax? That's it. I'll be seeing you in the next vid.